Doctor Who, The Christmas Invasion, the 2005 Christmas special, is written by Russell T Davies and starring David Tennant and Billie Piper. The first full episode starring David Tennant as the 10th Doctor. He was only shown briefly at the end of The Parting of the Ways for the regeneration scene.
We really need your help tonight for children in need.
So, pick up the phone, go online or press the red button.
Every penny that you donate tonight goes to help children in need here in the UK.
Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Doctor Who Born Again, a 7-minute mini-episode set between The Parting of the Ways and The Christmas Invasion, was released as part of the Children in Need charity telethon on 18th of November 2005, written by Russell T Davies and only starring David Tennant and Billie Piper. It was noticeable that there was no title of the story. Russell T Davies' deliberate choice led to some fans to decide what to call it. Davies jokingly said that the title was The Pudsey Cutaway, a reference to both Dalek Cutaway, an alternative name of the mission to the unknown, and Pudsey the Bear, which is the Children in Need mascot. It is said by one of the out-of-universe portions of the 2009 book, Doctor Who Companion and Allies, that this Children in Need mini-episode is called Born Again, but a review of the book in Doctor Who magazine 409 disputes the accuracy of this claim. Later, Doctor Who Adventures would consistently refer to the episode as Born Again in a number of issues and on a poster of all the special episodes. The 2013 BBC Books publication, Who Allergy, the official miscellany, also uses the Born Again title, not counting a same controversy that involves the 1996 TV movie. So in the mini-episode, the 9th Doctor, Christopher Eccleston, regenerated into the 10th Doctor, David Tennant.
So where was I? Oh, that's right. Barcelona.
It was originally planning to take Rose to the planet Barcelona.
Go on then, tell me. What do you think?
Who are you?
I'm the Doctor.
While he inspects himself, especially his hair, Rose was unsure that he was the same man, until the Doctor omitted the first word he said to Rose, which was, run, as they both outrun the Autons in the first episode of Series 1, Rose. So the Doctor admitted that he can't change back. So in the end, the Doctor assumes that Rose wanted to go home. So then regeneration side effect shows, and Rose suggested Captain Jack, but the Doctor said he was too busy rebuilding the Earth, and the TARDIS was about to crash land in Christmas. It was a fun video, I enjoyed it a lot. Fantastic opening for the 10th Doctor.
Hold on tight, here we go! Christmas Eve!
This is not the first episode that's released on Christmas. The first one is Dalek's Master Plan Part 7, which is William Hartnell's episode. That was released in 1965.
Happy Christmas to all of you at home.
So it begins with TARDIS crash lands in London. The Doctor came out and says Merry Christmas and then passed out. It's a brilliant gag when Jackie was like, "What do you mean that's the Doctor? Doctor Who?" and then title sequence played.
Doctor Who?
We don't get to see much of the Doctor in this episode as he spends a lot of time sleeping in bed, but that's because there's something wrong with his regeneration. It would be unrealistic if he wasn't resting and letting out his gold breath. Because of Guinevere 1 headed to Sigarak's spaceship, that's how everyone warned that an alien spaceship was coming. And I think the robot Santas were terrifying. The way they shoot brass instrument at Rose and Mickey while they were Christmas shopping.
What's that? They're after us.
I like it when they make monsters related to Christmas on a Christmas special because it makes it more Christmassy. When Rose was asking Jackie how did she get that Christmas tree, I was like, hardly a good time to discuss that tree, until when the Christmas tree came alive and spinning like it can slice you. It was so funny the way Jackie was like, I'm gonna get killed by a Christmas tree. And yeah, they woke the Doctor up too soon to destroy the tree and teleported the pilot fish away, which is what the Doctor called those robot Santas. The Sigarax revealed on TV screen has a hand as well. Sean Gilder played Phadros Peluchiga, who's the leader of the Sigarax, the superstitious warrior race. I thought he's absolutely phenomenal, badass race. I love the scene when Sigarax removed the helmet. It was like, Botska!
Or not.
I love the return of the unit in this episode and the music. It's so iconic and it really suits the unit. I wish the Brigadier was there. And we got to love Harriet Jones, as she's like the Prime Minister who gives anyone tea or coffee. I love the line with Sigarax strong, Sigarax mighty and Sigarax rock. It's badass. They tell the humans on Earth to surrender or they will die, which actually means they control anyone who's in a positive blood group.
Anything with stairs, anything with steps.
They got people to stand on the roof and ready to jump, which is not something that you want on Christmas, or at all. The scene where Sigarax's spaceship arrived on Earth, hovered over London, is amazing. I love the music with it, it shows how scary it is. There's always tea when world comes to an end. According to Mickey, it's very British. When the Doctor sniffs tea to make him feel better, I was like, I'll remember next time I feel ill, I'll crave for a cup of tea. The Doctor opening the TARDIS door and was like, did you miss me? I love that.
Did you miss me?
I also enjoyed his speech in that scene, including the lyrics of the Circle of Life from The Lion King.
From the day we arrive on the planet and blinking step into the sun.
There's more to see than can ever be seen. More to do than... No, hold on. Sorry, that's The Lion King. But the point still stands.
That's pretty funny. And also when Sigarax demands to tell the Doctor who he is and he's like, I don't know!
I demand to know who you are! I don't know!
Am I this or am I that? I love that sword fight scene, it's a blast to watch. And we explore the Doctor can grow back his new hand after when it got sliced off. Captain Jack managed to find it somehow. I can't believe Jackie's friend Howard, who leaves fruits like apple and satsuma in the dressing gown pocket, the one the Doctor is wearing. As I was thinking, it's not a good idea because what if it rots in there? So yeah, apparently this Doctor gives no second chances, which is why the monsters and villains should watch out.
No second chances. I'm that sort of a man.
Because Harriet got Torchwood to destroy Sigarax's spaceship, that made the Doctor turn against her and got her removed from the office as it's murder, and when he said, don't you think she looks tired? And here's the best bit of this Christmas because it's so Christmassy, which is exactly why it's my favourite Doctor Who Christmas special.
That Christmas looking back at me.
Also because it's my childhood. The Doctor changing his clothes with Song for Ten sung by Neil Hannon, right up there with Slade, and the Doctor has a Christmas dinner with the family. I remembered when I was a kid watching that episode while I had Christmas dinner with my family. Great times. Absolutely amazing. It's a great setup for Series 2 when the Doctor, Rose, Mickey and Jackie standing outside in the snow, which it was actually the ash from the spaceship.
And it is gonna be fantastic.
And then we see the Coming Soon trailer and credits roll. So yeah, like I said, it's my favourite Christmas special. I love David Tennant as the Doctor, and in case you're wondering who's my favourite Doctor, it's David Tennant. Because he's the Doctor who I grew up with. He's so alien and human kind of guy. He's also caring, heroic, funny, likeable, and everything. He's got fantastic stories and likeable companions. David Tennant's an amazing actor. When we see Harry Potter, Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger as our heroes, that's how I see the 10th Doctor and Rose Tyler. David Tennant, along with Tobey Maguire, inspired me to become an actor. I don't know what I'd do if they didn't exist. So, what are your thoughts of Christmas Invasion? Let me know in the comments below. Doctor Who Attack of the Graske, an interactive mini-episode, is written by Gareth Roberts and starring David Tennant and us viewers as the companion. Changeling World was considered to be the title, so Julie Gardner, the executive producer, told the Doctor Who magazine that the mini-episode was treated as a full-blooded, sophisticated production with a new alien villain, new sets, and new special effects. It felt so amazing that the Doctor welcomes us to the TARDIS.
Aha! I need your help. So fancy a trip in the TARDIS? Oh, more of a bus person, are we? Yeah, I see.
So after the Doctor uses his sonic screwdriver, which imbues the viewer's television remote control, we watch the family celebrating Christmas, where we have to find out which one has the glowing eyes. Spoiler alert, it was Mum. Lisa Palfrey, Nicholas Bevaney, Molly Cabia, James Harris, Robin Meredith and Gwyneth Petty played Mum, Dad, Boy, Girl, Grandad and Grandma, and I think they did a great job. So Mum brought Dad into the kitchen where the Graske appeared using handheld device to zap Dad, so both Mum and Dad have become imposter. So the countdown to start the segment uses design based on Gallifreyan script, seen in the series, and includes both Arabic numerals and the Gallifreyan numerals used in the new series adventures. The countdown shown for the tasks in a simplified version of this, which does not include the Gallifreyan numerals. Jimmy V plays a Graske, who's a sentient humanoid. They're very mischievous. I really like the Graske. In Christmas 1883, the Graske zaps street urchin, played by Ben Oliver, which made him an imposter. So as we land on the planet Griffoth, we find humans and a Slitheen trapped in the pods. And it was so fun seeing a Slitheen chasing Graske.
The Slitheen's out. Now's your chance. Only time to do one of two things.
The Doctor tells us that we have the chance to do one of the two things. One of them is teleport everyone back in their place, where they've been taken from, and the other choice is the stasis control, freezing everyone and everything in the base. There's two alternative endings, depending what we choose. If we choose freeze, like I said, everyone freezes. That led to alien Mum and Dad talking what they want to do. Their daughter felt they've ruined Christmas for her and storms off.
Christmas is ruined. I'm going to my room.
And the Doctor said that we're not good enough, but we can always try again. If we choose teleport and everyone is back in their places and everyone's happy,
Merry Christmas!
the Doctor is impressed with us and might pick us up one day. Either way, the Doctor turns off the power from our remote control, then said goodbye to us, and picking up Rose from Wembley in 1979 for ABBA concert. I love the fact that the Doctor warns us that if you turn the TV over to ITV, the galaxy may implode.
There is a risk that if you switch to ITV tonight, the galaxy may implode. So...
Which was a reference of rivalry between ITV and BBC. It was a fun game. Every time I play this, I can smell Christmas dinner cooking, because I remember when I first discovered that game, it was on the Doctor Who official website back in 2010. Yeah, I didn't play it when it came out, so I was 5 years late. And funny enough, I coincidentally first played it during Christmas Eve 2010 in the morning.
You're amazing. I might just pick you up one day. Well, I better go and get Rose. Merry Christmas.
Doctor Who New Earth, the first episode of Series 2, is written by Russell T Davies and starring David Tennant and Billie Piper. Because Billie was promised by Russell T Davies to make Rose Tyler funny, so they made the episode based around comedy for her. So this episode is set in New Earth 5,023,023, obviously the future, and 23 years after the events of the end of the world. I loved the opening with the first shot of the Doctor moving around in the TARDIS, and then Rose came in and asking where we're going, and the Doctor says, further than we ever gone before. So they've landed in New Earth. Must be nice there because of the smell of apple grass. And what's similar about the Earth is the same size of the planet, same air, same orbit, which is nice. We also have the return of Face Abo, Lady Cassandra, and those robot spiders. Well, one of them. So Face Abo summoned the Doctor and Rose inside a hospital by sending him a message on psychic paper. I love the Doctor's line when he's like, "Oh, you got a little shop. I like a little shop." And don't we all? For hospital, I think it's great to have a shower inside a lift, drying yourself off for hygiene and safety.
Commence stage 1 disinfection.
So Rose got tricked and Cassandra went into Rose's body and got possessed.
Oh my god, I'm a champ!
I think Sean Gallagher is great as Chip. And according to Russell T Davies, on the episode commentary, Cassandra's earlier self bases Chip on the man who had praised her beauty at the party, Chip himself, where the pattern for Chip comes from in the first instance is thus unclear, creating an ontological paradox. So that's interesting. When possessed Rose sees the Doctor the way she smooched him, I was like, whoa! The bit where they entered the intensive care and sees the patients, which apparently infected by everything, is insane.
Lab rats. No wonder the sisters have got a cure for everything. They've built the ultimate research laboratory. A human farm.
And could you imagine being infected by everything? Which is why Cassandra wanted to investigate and see what's going on in this hospital. I love the Doctor's arrogance in this scene when he's like, "How many?" And if you're taking it to the high authority, there isn't one. It stops with me. That's definitely the Doctor, no matter which person he changes into. Like I say, I love David Tennant as the Doctor. He's the Doctor who I grew up with, and yeah, he's my favourite Doctor of all time. At the scene where Chip pulls the lever and let all the infected humans out, and as a result, they chased after the Doctor, Rose and Chip and anyone who hasn't been infected, which is a great idea, I think. They're kind of like zombies. It's something that you see in Resident Evil, except if they touch you, you get infected to death. I like the design of the cat people. They're terrifying. Plus, anything can look different in the future. That was brutal when one of the infected human touched one of those cat people and she fell from the ladder all the way down to her death. Yeah, that was ouch. So how the Doctor managed to cure those people is by giving them every medicines, which as the years and generations go, they bound to update any medicines. So I think it's a great idea. And I think the Doctor looks great the way he combed back his wet hair when he says, "Pass it on" the third time. After when Rose was like, "Pass on what?"
It's a new subspecies, Cassandra. A brand new form of life. New humans, look at them, look!
I'm glad those people are cured instead of, well, killed. I think they've got taken into care, which I hope it's a good thing in that world and time. And yeah, I can see why the cat people got arrested because of what they did to the new life forms. I love David Tennant and Billie Piper's portrayal as a Cassandra and trying to look cool. I thought they were hilarious. So yeah, in the end we find out that Face Abo has got secrets which we wouldn't know until the next series, which is worth the wait. And Cassandra went inside Chip's body because they're both dying. The Doctor drops them inside some kind of a party that was played on the tape where Lady Cassandra was watching in the hospital. So Chip gets to see Cassandra in human form, and it's pretty sad to see Chip die with Cassandra inside him. Even though they are villains, it's still sad to see them go.
You look so beautiful.
Thank you. Oh my lord,
you alright?
So yeah, I really enjoyed that episode. What are your thoughts of New Earth? Let me know in the comments below. Doctor Who Tooth and Claw, the second episode of Series 2, is written by Russell T Davies and starring David Tennant and Billie Piper. So this episode is set in Scotland in 1879, where the Doctor and Rose arrived in, and we have a group of warrior monks using an alien werewolf to take over the British Empire. So if the werewolf bites Queen Victoria, it begins the Empire of the Wolf. Which is interesting. I think these monks are pretty badass, the way they attacked and the slow motion of them jumping like the Matrix style. I think Ian Hanmore as Father Angelo, the leader of the monks, is so good. When the Doctor introduced himself as James McCrimmon, that's the reference of Jamie McCrimmon, who's known to wear kilts and companion of the second Doctor.
I'm Dr. James McCrimmon from the township of Balamory.
I love the nakedness joke. I thought it was pretty funny. Pauline Collins is great at Queen Victoria. That's how I imagined what she's like during Victorian times in real life. I also liked when Rose throughout this episode hoping that she can get the Queen saying that she's not amused. I was like, oh yes. It's absolutely scary in the close-up on the host's mouth when he's shushing those people like this, the one who turns into werewolf. I'd watch this on Halloween. Especially when I watched it at 7, I was thinking, am I watching a series that was made for family or is it an adult? Because it's really scary. Poor Sir Robert, who has to lie to the Queen, otherwise his wife Lady Isabel would get devoured, which is so threatening. So when Rose was about to get changed, she finds Flora, the only cook that managed to get away from those monks, while the other people in that house, well except Robert, are locked up with a host. So yeah, Rose and Flora got captured by these monks while examining the unconscious soldier. Meanwhile, the Doctor has a dinner with the Queen, Sir Robert, and Captain Reynolds, talking about the wolf stories.
A werewolf?
The moment they realised something is wrong was when they saw Father Angelo talking to the other monks through the window. So while they rescued the others, monks let the moonlight shine to the host and he turns into werewolf. And I liked how the Doctor was like, oh that's beautiful, just before he dodged the piece of the cage the werewolf was throwing. And of course, never mess with the Queen when Father Angelo was like, oh I don't think so woman. And Victoria replied, the correct form of address is Your Majesty, and she shot him.
Oh, I don't think so, woman.
The correct form of address is Your Majesty.
Jamie Sives plays Captain Reynolds, who's in charge of the guards guarding Queen Victoria, and I think he did a splendid job. I really like him. And the medal that Captain Reynolds is wearing, South Africa medal, awarded to those who participated in the Anglo-Zulu War. I love the running scene from Werewolf. It's a blast to watch. This is like those movies you see in Sci-Fi Channel or a disaster movie where it's about monsters and you have to run away from them and find a way to destroy them. And I love stuff like that. Even when I was a kid, the series is like this in particular in this episode, and I really loved it. The way the werewolf eats, the sound effect is brutal and graphical, but thank God we don't get to see blood and gore, because, well, the repercussions would be a disaster. The effects on the werewolf has held up pretty well for its time. It's an unusual episode effects as they have guest visual effects artist, because the wolf have to be close-ups and animal hair, and I can imagine it was hard to do, but they've done it so well. So yeah, Queen Victoria may like the story, but when it becomes real life and it's in her world, she's like, I am not having that. As a result, after the defeat of the wolf, she wasn't amused, winning Rose's bet, and Victoria has banished the Doctor and Rose from her world.
But I am not amused. Yes. Not remotely amused.
And I liked how the Doctor points out that the books are the best weapons in the world because, you know, the books can give you knowledges that you need. If there wasn't any computers or anything like that. I think it's a great setup for Torchwood in the ending scene.
Then he should beware, because Torchwood will be waiting.
The diamond is pretty interesting. Victoria's husband has cut the diamond in order to save her life, according to the Doctor. And yeah, that's what they use for the moonlight laser beam to deflect it to the werewolf, and which Sir Robert risked his life to give them time to do so. And I think Derek Riddle did really well, and so all the casts really. I thought that effect when it turns into a man was really cool.
Make it brighter. Let me go.
Murray's gold music in this episode is well done. I really love that episode, it's so scary and good. What are your thoughts of Tooth and Claw? Let me know in the comments down below. Doctor Who, School Reunion, the third episode of Series 2, is written by Toby Whitehouse and starring David Tennant, Billy Piper, Noel Clarke, Elizabeth Sladen and John Leeson. So this episode has been going through several changes, naming the episode Old Friends but then Black Ops, which sounds like Call of Duty, as it was going to be in the army base, but Russell T Davies requested a school setting for simplicity and to have the Doctor as a school teacher. The Krillitanes were to be named Krillians until the BBC found the name was trademarked, and Finch's forename was originally Hector until the BBC found a real teacher by the same name and renamed him Lucas. A scene that was cut was of Milos' brain being shorted out by the Doctor's rapid-fire questions, causing him to collapse at the beginning of the episode, which was later alluded to in the episode according to Wikipedia. It was also Russell T Davies' idea to bring Elizabeth Sladen back as Sarah Jane Smith, and John Leeson back as K9. Originally, Sladen declined because she thought her character wasn't important, but then she realises she'll be a good focal point of the adventure, so she changed her mind. The episode begins with a poor child getting devoured by Mr. Finch, the headmaster, who's a Krillitane. So yeah, that was a dark beginning. Anthony Head is fantastic as a villain. You'd be terrified if you meet this guy. I wish they'd bring him back. He's got great lines like, ignore the shooty dog thing and do try the chips.
Do try the chips. Forget the shooty dog thing.
So the Doctor goes undercover as a teacher and Rose goes undercover as a dinner lady and working in school cafeteria. Because of Milo's intelligence, the Doctor finds something strange in that school. Basically, the oil they put in the chips for children to eat at lunchtime is to give them a lot of intelligence. Plus the oil is toxic to Krillitanes. One touch and they get burnt like acid, as it happened to one of them who disguised as a dinner lady. It was really funny when the other one was like, it's fine, she does that after you hear the scream and the explosion in the other room, after when Rose was attempted to ring the ambulance. I loved Elizabeth Sladen as Sarah Jane Smith. She's a fantastic companion. When I first watched that episode at the age of 7, I didn't know who she was as I hadn't watched the classic series at the time.
Hello, Sarah Jane.
It's you. Oh, Doctor.
Plus I found her interesting character, and when I looked at her in the classic series I was like, oh wow, she is so young in that series.
How do you do, Miss Smith?
Hello. I'm a journalist, Sarah Jane Smith.
You realise this is a very dangerous place to be in.
Well, I can't help that. I'm stuck here now.
I loved K9, he's so fun, and a cool robot dog. It'll be great if I have K9 as my pet.
Master, he recognises me.
Affirmative.
I've met John Leeson at the Comic-Con back in 2014. He's really nice, I had a good chat with him. I liked that Scooby-Doo moment when the Doctor, Rose and Mickey investigate school at night, and Sarah Jane did the same. It's great to see Sarah Jane Smith reunited with the Doctor. You can tell the Doctor's excitement seeing her because David Tennant is a fan of the show in real life and he grew up with Sarah Jane Smith as the Doctor's companion.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yes, very nice. More than nice, brilliant.
Krillitanes is pretty cool and scary, especially the way they roar at the screen. I can imagine it can scare the kids away. And poor Rose that she's thinking the Doctor could leave her eventually when she realised what happened with Sarah Jane Smith. And yes, Sarah Jane spent a lot of time waiting for the Doctor, wishing he'd come back, which is really understandable, as the Doctor dropped her off in Aberdeen instead of Croydon at the end of The Hand of Fear back in Tom Baker's era.
Don't forget me.
Sarah, don't you forget me.
I bet it isn't even South Croydon. Oh. You blew it.
Mr. Finch made a great turn when the Doctor looked at him from the staircase, and while they're chatting at the poolside, Mr. Finch seems to be standing up to the Doctor.
Soon, you will embrace us. The next time we meet, you will join with me.
After the Krillitanes devoured all the human teachers, they got all the kids except Kenny at the computer screen crack the code of Scace's paradigm, which she'd be a god maker, and they use kids because they need imagination for them and they're using their souls, which sounds really painful. Murray Gold's music for that scene is outstanding. It's such a blast to listen. I love the scene after when the Doctor, Rose, Sarah Jane, Mickey and Kenny were running away from the Krillitanes.
What is going on?
We get K9 shooting at them. It's such a cool scene. Mr. Finch's scream is really scary. We also find out Krillitane's another weakness is loud noise, and I think that's where they introduce to Sonic Screwdriver that doesn't do Deadlock Seal.
I can't shift it.
I thought the sonic screwdriver could open anything.
Anything except a deadlock seal.
Well, every weapon or gadgets have a weakness. When K9 shot a lot of cans of oil, burning a lot of Krillitanes except Mr. Finch, where he's just standing there, seemingly more powerful than the others. I love the way he's like, "You bad dog," and K9 was like, "Affirmative," and the school gets blown up as a result. Which, by the way, that's K9 Mark III. Apparently everyone thinks Kenny blew up the school, which I'm not sure if that's a good thing. I mean, what if he gets into a lot of trouble and end up getting sentenced or something? Sarah Jane decided not to travel with the Doctor because she wants the life of her own and stop waiting.
Goodbye, my Sarah Jane.
And K9 is back, yes, as a Mark IV. The ending is a great setup for Sarah Jane Adventures, and I really love that episode, it's amazing. I'd like to hear what you guys think. Add that to the comments down below. Doctor Who, The Girl in the Fireplace, the 4th episode of Series 2, is written by Stephen Moffat and starring David Tennant, Billy Piper and Noel Clarke. Because Russell T Davies is responsible for Casanova, the series,
Let's get on with it.
Casanova starts Sunday at 10 on BBC 3.
he became fascinated by Madame de Pompadour's story and decided to include her in. And the episode is set in 18th century, and Stephen Moffat decided to write the episode. And we have Sophia Myles to play Madame de Pompadour, which I think she's really good. So the TARDIS landed in the cool looking spaceship smelling like roast dinner, which I'm not sure if it was either Mickey or the Doctor that farted in there. So the Doctor looks through the fireplace. He sees Renette as a child, played by Jessica Atkins, which I think she's great too. As the Doctor discovers the time window, which is a doorway to different time zone, we got one side as a spaceship from 51st century, and the other, which is Paris 18th century, which is interesting. The scary moment was when the Doctor sees the broken clock, but he can still hear it ticking.
And it's the only clock in the room. Then what's that?
So he went under the bed and there was something the size of a man under there, and it turns out It was a clockwork robot.
Renette, don't look round.
You stay exactly where you are.
Clockwork robots are repair droids. They grab any parts of humans to repair the ship, and I thought they're pretty grim.
Monsieur, be careful!
Just a nightmare, Renette. Don't worry about it.
I love the line when the Doctor's like, everyone has nightmares, Renette. Monsters do too. And that's me. Ha! I like that ice extinguisher weapon. I thought it was a cool weapon. And when they unmasked a clockwork robot, I think it was a pretty cool design. After the Doctor sees Renette as an adult, she all of a sudden kissed him, and when manservant came in and he's like this to the Doctor, "Who the hell are you?" And the Doctor's like, "I'm the Doctor, and I've just snogged Madame de Pompadour." That was pretty funny. Also when he says Renette Poisson, I wonder if one point the translator from the TARDIS goes a bit off and people calls her Renette Fish. I love the scene when the horse was following the Doctor and he's like, "Will you stop following me? I'm not your mother." I wonder how the horse got inside that spaceship. I loved Mickey's line when he's like, "What's a horse doing on a spaceship?" When Rose and Mickey sees an eye on the CCTV type thing and Rose open the machine, she sees a human heart in there. And I'm like, what is going on here? So basically when Renette is completed, clockwork robots will bring back pieces of her, which I'm guessing it's her head, in order to fix the spaceship. I also love the bit when the Doctor sings around with a tie around his forehead, wearing sunglasses and carrying a glass of wine. Yeah, that's so funny.
They could have... They could have...
I begged for more. I could have spread my wings and...
When the Doctor broke the time window with a horse, it is a blast to watch. That was well done. Because he broke the time window, the clockworks were broken and they can't go back to their ship, which must be devastating for them. Luckily the Doctor has found a fireplace that's still a doorway, so he can get back. The look of the Paris in the snow at night just looks so Christmassy. When the Doctor came back to Paris, he finds out Renette sadly dies, and I do think 42 is too young. Plus King Louis gave the Doctor a letter to hope that he returns sooner or later. It's such a sad scene.
Of course. Quite right.
Ben Turner plays King Louis XV, who was a king of France from 1715 until he passed away in 1774, and I thought he did a great job. At the end of the episode it reveals that this spaceship is called SS Madame de Pompadour. The reason why the Clockworks wanted to know her age is because the same age as the spaceship. Once she's completed, they can able to get parts of her to fix the spaceship. So yeah, it's an interesting episode. I really enjoyed it. I'd like to know what you guys think of the episode. Let me know in the comments below. Doctor Who Rise of the Cybermen, the 5th episode of Series 2, is written by Tom McRae and starring David Tennant, Billy Piper and Noel Clarke. And that's when we first see the Cybermen in the New Who series. Russell T Davies was inspired by Spare Parts, the audio episode.
This is my work! I created you!
And I am superior to you. Be proud while you still have the capacity.
That travesty that was once a human being is part of it. I don't know how long it'll take. I'm not even sure I want to stop it. But I can give you a wake-up call. It's up to you, not me, to change things and stop this horror once and for all.
Clear these streets. Return to your homes. There is nothing to see.
Tom McRae said it was not easy to rewrite it as it's a different setting, different themes and different characters. With the parallel universe, Davies tells McRae to tone down the differences between parallel and real universes. The first time we had the parallel Earth was in Inferno, where the Brigadier was wearing an eye patch.
Brigadier, will you kindly tell me what
Is this the man?
So this episode begins in a lab of Cyber's Industries with a scientist, Dr. Kendrick, powering up a humanoid metal form, and his boss on the wheelchair called John Lumick, giving it a praise. And because Dr. Kendrick has told Lumick that he needs to inform the Geneva about his creation, and Lumick is like, how will you do that from beyond the grave? And ordered a Cyberman to kill him, which is really dark, killing your own assistant. Roger Lloyd Pack is amazing as John Lumick. Funny thing is, we have both Barty Crouchers from Harry Potter franchise in this episode, which is great.
Fantastic little man! Hello, Father.
You are no son of mine.
I enjoyed the banter between the Doctor, Rose and Mickey in the TARDIS before it crash landed in Parallel Earth.
The time vortex is gone. That's impossible, it's just gone.
Apparently the Zeppelins in the sky gave it away, and so is Peter Tyler when he advertised his drink, when he goes, trust me on this.
But Israel,
Trust me on this.
it's a success.
The Doctor keeps getting Rose to accept that it's not her world and her dad is actually dead, which must be upsetting for her. It's nice to see Sean Dingwall back as Pete Tyler. When they announced Jackie Tyler's 40th birthday, it was actually the 40th anniversary of the 10th planet, the Cybermen's first appearance.
Who the heck are you?
It was funny that Rose in Parallel Earth is a dog. Even the Doctor laughed and he's like, sorry, when he sees Rose's face. It's also intense while Jackie does her makeup and those things just appeared around Jackie's head. When the Doctor sees a light in the TARDIS, he realises he can get the TARDIS working again, and because it takes 24 hours to power up, Mickey decides to visit his gran in Parallel Earth as his real gran sadly died as she tripped and fell down the stairs. Noel Clarke's performance is well done in that scene. When he sees a carpet torn apart, he's like, the carpet on the stairs, you need to get it fixed, you're gonna fall and break your neck. You can tell Mickey is pretty devastated about his real gran. We also have the Preachers driving in a blue van, and I think they're cool. They thought Mickey was Ricky when they dragged him into the van, and until when they find out when they went inside their base and see another Mickey, and that Mickey is called Ricky. When they scanned, they realised he's flesh and blood, so they're guessing that it's either something to do with the Cyber's Industries or it's his twin brother. I think Andrew Hayden Smith is great as Jake. Apparently he wasn't the fan of Doctor Who until he got the part and gave the episodes a watch, and, well, he joins the Whovian Club. Plus he's from Gateshead, which is not far from where I'm from. Helen Griffin is so good in this episode as Mrs. Moore, also known as Angela Price. Shame they killed her off. Instead of the Prime Minister of UK, we have the President of UK in the Parallel Earth, which is a nice change, and I think Don Warrington did well performed. And he said no to John Lumick for the upgrade because of what it contains. As a result, Lumick has got a Cyberman to assassinate him.
You will be deleted.
We also have Colin Spall, who plays Mr. Crane, who previously played Lilt in Revelation of the Daleks in Colin Baker's era, and I think he's done a great job. I like the bit when the homeless people get turned into Cybermen and they played The Lion Sleeps Tonight. It's so iconic, and every time I hear that song, I always think about this scene in this episode, and the part of the music with Cyber Factory Tour actually fits in. So while the Doctor and Rose are in the mansion working in the kitchen for Jackie Tyler's birthday, we have the Cybermen coming. I remembered watching this the first time I was only 7, and man, I had goosebumps watching this. I love the close-up of the shot of their feet walking past with a stomp sound.
What do I do?
And later when they revealed the Cybermen, it was well done.
What are they?
Cybermen.
I love the design of Cybermen, it's well updated, more robotic and terrifying. I also love the idea, like, every time they speak, the blue mouth turns on.
We have been upgraded.
Into what?
The next level of mankind.
The way the Cybermen attacks and when you have to run away from, this is why they're my favourite Doctor Who monsters, because they're so scary and well designed.
There's nothing we can do!
I love the Doctor's reaction when he sees Mickey and Ricky together and he's like, oh, if things weren't bad enough, there's two Mickeys. I would love to see Christopher Eccleston's Doctor reaction to this. Especially when Rose told the Doctor that his gran used to slap him. Because the bullets don't work and they're surrounded by the Cybermen, it looks like they have no choice but to surrender. It's really intense when a Cyberman is about to delete the Doctor, and then to be continued. At least they don't have next time trailer.
Delete, 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 delete.
I really love that episode, it's well written. Murray Gold's music is well done, casts are great, and I love the Cybermen. The Daleks have the famous catchphrase exterminate, and the Cybermen have the famous catchphrase delete. What are your thoughts of the rise of the Cybermen? Let me know in the comments below. Doctor Who The Age of Steel, the 6th episode of Series 2, is written by Tom McRae and starring David Tennant, Billy Piper and Noel Clarke. The first story to feature Cybermen in a new Who series, Part 2. So yeah, it begins with the Doctor uses his TARDIS technology to blast all the Cybermen surrounding a gang, which is a good way to get them out of this. I loved Mrs. Moore's lines when she's like, "Finished chatting? Never see a slow getaway in my life." We also have Scooby-Doo reference from Pete Tyler when he calls the Preachers Scooby-Doo and his gang and compare their van to the Mystery Machine. It's such a great gag.
Scooby-Doo and his gang. They've even got the van.
Apparently the Preachers have secret broadcasts from Gemini, which turns out to be Pete Tyler. And yeah, he only works for Lumig to get the information he needs. John Lumig begins the transmission of people using those earpods, and it's like they're offline as they walk into a cyber factory to get themselves upgraded. I love the running scene with the music, it's pretty well done. It's really sad Ricky got killed off, but at least we still have Mickey. Apparently in the deleted scene, Jake revealed that Ricky was his boyfriend. No idea why they deleted it.
I'll never have another boyfriend like him.
Okay, definitely not replacing him.
Because Mr. Crane betrayed Lumig and messed up his life support system on his wheelchair, he gets deleted by a Cyberman and, well, Lumig gets upgraded. So everyone's plan is to go into Cyber Factory and stop Lumig from turning everyone into Cybermen. When Peter and Rose wears a fake earpods to walk in the factory, and that music, for some reason, reminds me of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire theme, and it sounds kind of like this.
You want to upgrade. Chamber 10, now what more you want upgrading?
Or is it just me? But either way, they are great. It's a shame that they're too late, as Jackie is already, well, upgraded.
My name was Jacqueline Tyler.
So yeah, Jackie in the parallel Earth dies, and Peter Tyler in the real Earth dies. So yeah, good match. I love the factory scene where the people get upgraded and there's few Cybermen with Murray Gold's theme. That was well done. When the Doctor and Mrs. Moore went down to the cooling tunnel and they shot a few Cybermen leaning on the wall very still, with the jump scare, that gave me a fright. I was like, whoa! I did not expect that.
Let's see where we are.
What's really intense was when all the Cybermen in the cooling tunnels activated, and while the Doctor and Mrs. Moore was running...
They're waking up! Run!
Man, I can't tell you how intensing it is when I first watched it. Thankfully they made it out. We also find out Mrs. Moore's backstory, as her real name is Angela Price, and she has a husband and kids, and they think she died in order to keep them safe. When Mrs. Moore said she got that name from a book, in real life there is a book called Mrs. Moore in Space, written by Gertrude Moore, the mother of Patrick Moore. It offers a whimsical view of exotic life on other planets through a series of paintings. When Mrs. Moore threw the electromagnetic bomb at a Cyberman, the Doctor opens a logo thing on the chest. We see bits of flesh inside, which is gross. It's a sad scene when that Cyberman is Sally Phelan was getting married to someone called Gareth, but, well, this happened.
You're getting married?
I'm so cold.
When Mrs. Moore got up and a Cyberman was right behind her with a jump scare and deleted her, that was really scary and really sad. So when Mickey and Jake took down two guards and climbed into a Zeppelin, there was another jump scare of a Cyberman, which they thought it was a display, but when it moved, it was really intense. And yeah, while it was trying to kill Mickey, it accidentally destroyed the transmission, which got people back to themselves and ran from Cyber's Industries. The Cyber controller in this episode is pretty cool. I love the voice as well.
This is the age of steel, and I am its creator.
I have the action figure of Cyber controller with two Cybermen.
The forces of evil are massing against the Doctor. It's time to escape in the TARDIS. It's a system malfunction. Can the Doctor repair it? Yes, but now the TARDIS needs refueling. It's working. Doctor Who action figures and TARDIS playset.
From character.
I enjoy the Doctor's bantering around. It is really entertaining. So Mickey types in numbers and sends it to Rose, which is a binary 9. As a result, the Doctor used that to kill all the Cybermen. I love the way Jake and Mickey was like, yes! Like it's also watching a football. The scene where a Cyberman head exploded is so graphical, and for some reason I like that. The running in the factory with Cybermen screaming in pain and dying with loads of explosions is well done. I loved Murray Goulds' music for it. When the Doctor, Rose and Pete climbed on the ladder of a Zeppelin where Jake and Mickey is flying on. It was interesting when he learned that from the PlayStation. And I loved his line when he's like, "Welcome to Mickey's Airlines, please enjoy your flight, woo!" When Mickey phones Rose and saying, "I'm coming to get you," that's the repeat of Christopher Eccleston's Doctor when he said that from the screen at the end of Bad Wolf episode.
Just hold on, Rose. I'm coming to get you.
Rose?
Yes, Doctor?
I'm coming to get you.
So yeah, Cyber Controller, also known as Lumic, as it's him, climbed on a ladder below. The Doctor gave Pete his sonic screwdriver to burn the rope off, and yeah, Cyber Controller fell down into the fire. It's nice to see the TARDIS powered up, and it's really emotional when Rose called Peter Dad after she mentions parallel and real world, and he's like, "Don't, just don't," and walked off. All Rose wants is her dad back. I love Jake's reaction when he sees TARDIS dematerialise.
What the hell? That's the Doctor.
And when it landed in Jackie's flat. I don't know how it fits in there. I'm guessing it damages the ceiling. So yeah, Mickey and Jake are in the van going through a lot of countries to stop the Cybermen factories. It's really sad for Rose when Mickey had to stay and she can't see him again as the Doctor has to close the void, which means they can't ever return. So yeah, I really love that episode. If I had to have a favourite Doctor Who story, I'd go for this one, especially The Age of Steel. As it's really scary, I love the Cybermen, it's got great stories and musics, the casts are amazing, everything about this episode is fantastic. And I'm curious on what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. Doctor Who, The Idiot's Lantern, the 7th episode of Series 2. Is written by Mark Gatiss and starring David Tennant and Billy Piper. So yeah, a writer, Gareth Roberts, suggested Mark Gatiss to name this episode The Idiot's Lantern, and he did. This episode is set in London, 1953, the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. So it begins with the guy who works in a television shop called Mr. Magpie, played by Ron Cook, and I think he's great.
Are you sitting comfortably? Good. Then we'll begin.
Funny thing is, those two appeared in Series 2 and, well, They're in the Thunderbirds live action movie.
Oh, and apparently England won the football last night. Yes, England! Calm down, Parker.
Sorry, lady.
The villain in this episode is The Wire, some kind of interface using that character image from the telly to take off people's face, which is interesting. I think Maureen Lipman did well performed. I just liked when she's like, I'm hungry and feed me.
I'm the Wire, and I'm hungry.
It's another iconic thing for me. She originally was going to take Magpie's face off, but decided to leave it on and use him as a servant. It's a great gag for this episode when Granny is like, I hear the television rots your brain into soup and pouring out of your ears. That's what the television does. Margaret John plays Grandma Connolly, the grandmother of Tommy and the mother of Rita, and I thought she's great too. Margaret previously played Megan Jones in Fury from the Deep. Rose looked pretty in that episode, and the Doctor had, well, gelled his hair back, and when he puts his glasses on, he looks like Egon Spengler from Ghostbusters. I liked seeing them riding on the motorbike in the street, and they thought they were in New York, which I'm guessing in Queens, which is where they thought they were in, plus someone gets kidnapped, so when the Doctor and Rose followed them, they got away and disguised their entrance as a cleaning area, which is a great hiding place. Jamie Foreman is Eddie Connolly, the dad. He is so good! The actor in real life is a nice guy, and his character, you'd absolutely hate him. Plus I did remember years ago when I saw my mum watching EastEnders, and he was there, and I think it was the scene with the bar fight. Deborah Gillett and Rory Jennings is great as Rita and Tommy Connolly. Rory Jennings also voiced Teenage Davros in I, Davros.
Will you be dead soon? Fire! The truth lies elsewhere. And I'm not your boy.
When Eddie is like, I am talking, that was like, wow, he is really strict. So the Doctor and Rose investigates this house as a representative for Queen and Country. I love the Doctor's line when he's like, would you suggest a Queen does the housework? And Eddie is like, no, not at all. That really crackled me up.
And are you suggesting the Queen does the housework?
No, not at all.
Then get busy.
So the Doctor gave Eddie the Union Jack flags to hang them up. When Eddie was starting to have a go at the Doctor and was like, I am talking, and the Doctor got up and he's like, and I'm not listening. I was like, yes!
What goes on under my roof is my business.
Not if people are being
I am talking,
and I'm not listening!
When they went inside the bedroom, it's like a horror movie when you see an old lady moving in the dark, and when they turn the light on, it reveals that her face is gone, with a jump scare. And that was well done, believe it or not. So men, which they turn out to be policemen, have broken in and abducted her, just like all the other faceless people, which is serious stuff. I like the way when the Doctor was like this to the cleaning crew. Oh, very good. I also love the bit when the Doctor goes inside a cage and sees the other faceless people. It was so scary. The way they moved their hands like this, and they moved with the camera shots and the music, wow, that is so scary. When Rose confronts Magpie and meets the Wire, she takes her face off. It was funny when the Doctor was talking to Detective Inspector Bishop, was like, I know you can't wrap your hand around your elbow and make your fingers meet. And Detective Inspector Bishop was like, don't get clever with me. And he was embarrassed when the Doctor sees his name in the collar and says, bless your mum. Sam Cox and Eoin Rees plays Detective Inspector Bishop and Crabtree, who are the policemen, and I think they give a fantastic performance. When he sees faceless Rose, when he finds out that she was chucked in the street, and the Doctor was like, right, we're moving out. So the Doctor and Detective Inspector were asking Tommy on what was going on, and it turns out Eddie told the police about the faceless people, which is why they abducted. When the Doctor, Tommy and Detective Inspector investigate Magpie's shop, they meet the wire, and when she tries to take their faces off, that effect looks so freaky, it kind of freaked me out. At least the Doctor and Tommy have still got their faces, but Detective Inspector didn't though. I love the scene when the Doctor and Magpie were climbing on the Alexandra Palace, a headquarters for BBC television in the 1950s, and wiring the tower with the epic music. It's a blast to watch. Because Magpie wanted peace that the wire promised him, she disintegrated him. So when Tommy and the Doctor swords the wire while she tries to take the face off the other viewers, the plan works and the wire is turned off and trapped into the VHS, which is interesting. And yeah, Eddie got kicked out because, well, it wasn't his house. It's the granny who owns it. And yeah, Rose tells Tommy to go to his dad when he's moving away, and yeah, he's a nasty piece of work, but we haven't seen him hitting his family at least. And I can see why Rose asks Tommy to go to his dad, and not to mention what happened to Rose's dad. So yeah, they ended with the Doctor and Rose at the party celebrating the coronation with the rest of the street. So yeah, I really enjoyed that episode. What's your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments down below. Doctor Who, The Impossible Planet, the 8th episode of Series 2, is written by Matt Jones and starring David Tennant and Billy Piper. So the designing of the Ood originally was going to be Raxacoricofallapatorians, the same species as the Slitheen, which is Russell T Davis's idea. They wanted to create a slave race that wants to awaken the beast, which they believe to be a god that can free them. But the idea is changed into an Ood and have them from the planet near the Sensphere, which is a reference from the Sensorites in William Hartnell's era.
Why don't you let these space people go back to their Earth, hmm?
None of you can ever again leave the area of the Sensphere.
The Sanctuary base is based on a spaceship Nostromo from the Alien movie.
What happened to this guy when he
So when the Doctor and Rose arrives in the Sanctuary base on the planet Croptor, in 43rd century with the TARDIS sounding so queasy, they see strange markings, which is a writing that's very old and can't be translated.
This writing is old. Very old. Impossibly old.
And, oh yeah, funny they called it Welcome to Hell. Is that what they call their base? I'm in hell. The scene where we first see the Ood is a great opening. I always thought that We Must Feed is their catchphrase. So we have Mr. Jefferson, the head of security, played by Danny Webb, and I think he's really good. He walks into the room with the other two security, and he's like, "That's impossible, how can real people be here?" The scene when they went through the corridor and the massive earthquake with Murray Gold's epic music is well done. I liked Sean Parks as Captain Zach Flame. He's really good. He's the leading captain since after his crew landed here because they've lost the captain. I also liked Claire Rushbrook as Ida Scott and with her chemistry with the Doctor. Danny Bartok, who's in charge of the Ood, and he's played by Ronnie Duty. He's really good as well. I liked when he's like, not as boring as it sounds, to make the science sound fun. And so is Will Thorpe as Toby Zed, the archaeologist who later gets possessed by the beast. Mayanna Burning as Scooty Manista is great too. Sadly she dies in the episode when she's in the black hole. Such a sad scene, especially when Ida mentioned that she was 20 years old. The Doctor's reaction and what he says about the black hole is handled really well. Indeed, he's right. They should be dead.
Nothing in the universe can escape it. Light, gravity, time, everything just gets pulled inside and crushed.
I love the Doctor's line in this when he's like, "Hey Zach, just stand there cause I'm gonna hug you, is that alright?" Ah, human beings, you are amazing! Ha! But apart from that, you're completely mad. You should pack your bags and get back in that ship and fly for your lives. That's brilliant. Especially when Ida was like, "You can talk, and how the hell did you get here?" The moment the Doctor realised something is wrong, the floor that the TARDIS landed in has been, well, destroyed, and the TARDIS is somewhere outside.
The TARDIS is gone.
Door 16 out of commission.
The earthquake.
So yeah, it's sad for the Doctor and Rose that they're stranded there, especially when the Doctor mentioned that he promised Jackie he can always take Rose back home. At least the Doctor and Rose are together, which is the main thing. The Oods are a well-designed race, apparently because they have nothing to do for their lives. They just crave for being ordered about, which is sad when you think about it. I enjoyed when they played Moray Ravel's Bolero, which I think it fits in the mood. When the song cuts just like that while Toby Z examines those fragments of the ancient scrolls through his microscope, when he hears the whisper saying, "Toby, I can see you." He thought it was Danny pranking him, but it turns out it was the devil.
I'm behind you, Toby. I'm right behind you. Don't look at me.
It's so scary when he's like, "Don't turn around. Don't look at me or you will die, or I can touch you," and then Toby looks behind and there was nothing there. He then gets the writing marks thing on his face and red eyes, which is incredibly scary, and yeah, that's where Scooty dies, when he clutches his fist from the planet's surface and the glass shatters. And Scooty gets sucked into the black hole.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
So the drill stopped after that, which seems to be good news. And so the Doctor and Ida puts their spacesuit on. I remember when I had this action figure when I was younger, and I loved the design of the elevator. The effects is done well for its time. The planet's surface looks really cool. There was something not right when the Ood seems to act funny and the telepathic field is on basic 100 when they should be dead, but they're not. And it's a great lead up to the cliffhanger because it's really intense and you never know what's going to happen.
These are the words of the beast. And he has woken. He is the heart that beats in the darkness.
And the revealing of possessed Toby Z, and he mentioned to Jefferson that his wife never forgave him. I was like, whoa! And when he roared and all the markings went into the Ood and became possessed, and Toby is, well, himself again. This is dark stuff. And we also find out that the Ood use their translator ball as a weapon to kill you, like one of the security guards.
And these are the words that shall set him free.
What lead to cliffhanger is the planet shaking, the possessed Ood about to kill Rose Jefferson and, well, the other security guard, and the pit opens and the voice of the beast says he's free.
And I am free.
The Beast is voiced by Gabriel Wolf. I thought he's absolutely phenomenal, and of course Gabriel Wolf also played Sutekh in Pyramids of Mars and later reprised the role in Series 14 finale.
I am Sutekh the Destroyer. Where I tread I leave nothing but dust and darkness. I find that good.
Man, what an episode. What do you guys think of the episode? Do let me know in the comments below. Doctor Who The Satan Pit, the 9th episode of Series 2, is written by Matt Jones and starring David Tennant and Billy Piper. For inspire the design of the beast, Russell T Davies has sent the visual designers at the Mill Pictures a painting by Simon Bisley, the comic artist known for muscular grotesque queries. So yeah, this is the second part story of the possessed Ood and the Devil Beast, and it begins with Jefferson shooting out the possessed Ood. It's actually a cool effect when he shakes the gun, and it turns out the planet Croptor is fine and it's not going into the black hole. When Danny came in, another Jefferson security gets killed by an Ood, well, possessed Ood, with their translator ball. Turns out there's no voice in the pit, which means the beast is still, well, down there. And we're like, oh thank God, because we could do with a break before anything goes blow up. And I'm glad they played the next time trailer after the credits, because then it'll give the audience enough time to switch it off. When the Doctor and Ida went back to the lift to try and get back up, the power goes down and there is a group of red-eyed Oods with the voice of the beast. The speech is well written.
The disciples of the light rose up against me and chained me in the pit for all eternity.
It's so dark, interesting and scary when you think about it. We find out Captain Zach Flane is scared of command. Jefferson is haunted by the eyes of his wife, which I have no idea what's been happening between the two. Ida runs away from her dad, Danny who lies, Toby's a virgin, does that mean he hasn't? Oh, it doesn't matter. And what they say about Rose is that she'll die in a battle very soon, which is a great setup for the Series 2 final.
The valiant child who will die in battle so very soon.
After when the voice says, you will die and I will live, and then the footage of the devil, like beast roaring, was so scary. We're pretty much watching a horror movie. The way the Doctor tells everyone that the beast is just playing on basic fears, childhood nightmares. The beast is alone, but we are not, and we can fight it together. That handled really well, and yeah, he got interrupted when 10 Mile cable got snapped and the communication is down. So yeah, the Doctor and Ida are stuck down there in the planet's surface. Which is not bad for the Doctor because he uses those cables to get down to the pit to find some answers. When the cable went as far as it goes, the Doctor is like, I can survive 30 feet. When he's just like, just tell Rose, oh she knows.
Oh, she knows.
Doctor, are you there?
I like the relationship between the 10th Doctor and Rose. They made a great teamwork. When Ida tries to stop the Doctor, but it was too late, he fell into the pit. When I first watched it, I thought he was dead. I was like, no! But later on, when we find out that he's alive, and well, the glass on the helmet broke, but that's alright because there's oxygen down there. At least the glass didn't cut the Doctor's face. I love the running, crawling scene in the tunnel where they were getting away from the Ood. That's a great scene. Shame Mr. Jefferson dies as he risks his life to give Rose, Danny and Toby time to get away so they can go to the Ood habitation so they can put it on basic 0 to knock them out.
Thank you, sir.
I didn't know Toby was still possessed until when his red eye shows and he shushed the Ood like this. So yeah, after all the Oods got knocked out, Zach manages to get the communicator working, but sad news is he can't rescue Ida, and everyone but Rose thinks the Doctor is dead. Rose cares so much for the Doctor, which is why she was planning on staying, because, well, she couldn't leave him. And that's why she's my favourite companion. But of course Danny and Toby restrained Rose, and Zach just put her to sleep and then carry her to the rocket. When the Doctor sees the beast, he's so terrifying, the effects holds up really well. I liked his line when he's like, I accept that you exist. I don't have to accept what you are, but your physical existence, I'll give you that. I've seen fake gods and bad gods and demigods and would-be gods. So apparently if the Doctor sets the beast free, the beast dies.
If I kill you, I kill her.
But the planet goes down and the rocket won't able to escape the black hole. But because the Doctor believes in Rose, he smashes both glowing vase and, well, yeah, the rocket is about to head for the black hole. As a result, the beast gets burned to death, Toby's in possessed form again, He's so scary the way he shouted and the fire came out of his mouth like a dragon.
I am the prince and the fool and the agony. I am the sin and the fear and the darkness.
The effects is well done when Rose shot the window and Toby fell out the rocket. I love that scene when they reused the music from Tooth and Claw by Murray Gold. It's fantastic, it really fits in with the scene.
It's the planet. And it's moving. It's falling.
Luckily, the Doctor manages to find the TARDIS and saved Ida and everyone in the rocket. But sadly, he couldn't save the Ood, so they went down with the planet. But the Doctor has done his best. It's great to see Rose and the Doctor reunited. As I searched up on Wikipedia, according to the DVD commentary, the final scene in the TARDIS where the Doctor says the stuff of legend was the last major scene shot for Series 2 and the last to feature Billie Piper. It was not, however, the last scene filmed for the season, which was the cliffhanger scene at the very end of Doomsday. So yeah, I really enjoyed that episode. I'm curious to know what you think. Let me know in the comments below, as always. Doctor Who Love and Monsters, the 10th episode of Series 2, is written by Russell T Davies and starring David Tennant and Billie Piper. So while David Tennant and Billie Piper can film other episodes, they decide to film this episode where the Doctor and Rose are barely in it, which I think it's a nice break and a nice holiday. We can like the Doctor as a character, but we can like others too. The Doctor Light and sometimes Companion Light structure has continued as a tradition, producing episodes. Russell T Davies took the inspiration from Buffy the Vampire Slayer episode, the Zeppo, and the Star Trek The Next Generation episode, Lower Decks, both which focused on atypical characters. Russell T Davies described the episode, it's an experimental script. Not so experimental that people will run away screaming from Saturday Night BBC One because you can experiment too much. People still want a bit of monster and a bit of a thrill and a bit of the Doctor, so it still delivers as normal Doctor Who, but just as you think you know everything this programme can do, that puts a little bit of spin on it. Originally the episode was going to be called I Love the Doctor, but of course settled to Love and Monsters. So the opening of the episode plays Elton running and finds the TARDIS, but then he went down to the warehouse. It was really intense when Elton was about to open the door, and there is a green monster called the Hoiks. They live to eat, as they like to eat everything.
It went
Plus that design reminds me of Green Goblin from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy. We later see the Hoiks in Torchwood Exit Wounds, and it had the cameo at the end of The Pandorica Opens in Doctor Who. It's definitely a scary and dangerous creature. Definitely don't want to meet them in real life.
eat the food. Come on. Look at the lovely food. Isn't that nice?
The name of Hoiks was not decided until the day after that scene was shot, and the name was only needed to put on the end credits. And because the Doctor is aware what the Hoiks are, the Doctor gets Rose to pour a bucket of hot chemicals at it, but it was the wrong one. When Rose thought he said blue and the Doctor was like, I said not blue. I love that Scooby-Doo style, the way the Doctor and Rose were running from the Hoiks through the doors. It was really funny. The moments when the Doctor asks Elton does he know him, but he made a run for it. I think Mark Warren as Elton Pope is really good. They should bring him back as I think he's an interesting character, and believe it or not, he's got great stories. First he meets the Doctor as a kid, which we come to that at the end, and he sees aliens and monsters invading. First he was there when the Autons attack in the shop. He witnessed the Slitheen spaceship crashes into Big Ben, and on Christmas Day his window's smashed, and he looks out the window and he sees Sigarax's spaceship. I just think it's nice to get to know that character's life, even when he mentions that he likes drink and Spain, don't we all? Russell T Davies said, in the original script, Elton would have witnessed the events that happened in classic era. Elton's 3rd birthday party was evacuated due to Imperial and Renegade Dalek battle in Shoreditch in November 1963, which is the event of Remembrance of the Daleks. A plastic daffodil from Terror of the Autons would have killed his mother, and he would have seen the Loch Ness Monster rising from the Thames. The BBC was against that idea because the budget was low. There were concerns about having to pay royalties to the writers of these stories. So Peter Kay wrote a letter to Russell T Davies after the series started in June 2005, and Davies replied to him in September. Peter Kay was offered for the role as Elton, but he felt that being a UFO spotter was too similar to his character in Coronation Street, and he wanted to play the villain instead.
She clearly doesn't like me, and she's got you well under the thumb.
Under the thumb? No, she's not. She's been through a lot. My dad died.
I know.
I loved when they played Mr. Blue Sky by Electric Light Orchestra. It's a great song. The one they played when Groot was dancing in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. This episode seems to be loving ELO because they played Mr. Blue Sky throughout this episode. There was a scene where Elton and his mates were singing Don't Bring Me Down.
You got me thinking that I'm wasting my time. Don't bring me down.
And Turn to Stone in the scene where Elton was fixing Jackie Tyler's household. Elton has love interest called Ursula, played by Shirley Henderson. She's a great actress, especially as Moaning Myrtle in the Harry Potter franchise.
Moaning Myrtle?
Who's Moaning Myrtle?
I'm Moaning Myrtle.
During the Sigarax event on Christmas, Ursula takes pictures, including the Doctor. She thought he was just a random guy, until Mr. Skinner told her. And no, I don't mean that, Mr. Skinner.
You just cut in line, didn't you? Reported attention odor.
I'm talking about the leader of the group, which they're known to study the Doctor, and I think it's an interesting stuff. They could do with a spin-off series or something. Elton named the group Linda, that stands for London Investigation and Detective Agency.
I give you Linda.
Linda!
The acronym was previously used on the British children's television programme Why Don't You, which featured the Liverpool Investigation and Detective Agency. Russell T Davies worked on the series for some years. I thought Simon Greenall is great as Colin Skinner. Maya Brady and Catherine Drysdale plays Bridget Sinclair and Bliss, also known as Blessed Bliss. I really like those two.
So, we meet at last, Linda.
When Mr. Skinner was wondering why the N, Elton explains the other famous names with the N, like fish and chips and rock and roll, which is pretty neat as and is the most common definition for N. So we have Peter Kay, who plays Mr. Kennedy, who takes over Linda Group, and he gets them to study more about the Doctor, and every time he asks the member a word privately, they turn out to be missing after that. And yeah, when Elton visits to Jackie to mend her household, as they met at the laundry, she decides to give a glass of wine to Elton and played Il Divo's Regressa a Me song.
Nice music.
Il Divo.
Yeah.
And I can't believe Jackie spilled wine on Elton's shirt. First time an accident with a tiny drop, and then drench it deliberately. So he has to take it off so she can put it in the wash and see Elton shirtless. But when he puts it back on, he buys pizzas. Meanwhile, she finds a photo of Rose in his coat pocket, and she finds out Elton was trying to get to the Doctor and Rose. And yeah, that didn't end well.
I only wanted to meet him.
I thought you liked me.
I do.
Just get out of here! I said get out! And leave me alone!
When Elton and Ursula were heading out to have Chinese food, Ursula left her phone, so when they go back inside after Mr. Skinner is missing, it reveals that Mr. Kennedy is an alien and he's called Absorbaloff, a disgustingly powerful villain who absorbed all the members of Linda.
You've dabbled with aliens. Now meet the genuine article.
What bothers me is that people were so harsh on the design.
Well done, William. Congratulations,
Look forward to
mate.
meeting you. Well done.
Yes, indeed. Congratulations, William. Well done, mate. You are going to see your monster come to life, and this is the man that's going to make it happen.
He was designed by a 9-year-old kid called William Grantham on Blue Peter competition. I was really sad when I found out that he was disappointed with the design, because I absolutely love it. He admitted he imagined that the monster would be a size of a double-decker bus, but the production team were never told about that. William Grantham became a gaming YouTuber on Channel Pup, fondly recounted the experience in 2021 Retrospective. He was given a set visit and he was well treated by the cast and crew, even crediting it with inspiring a career in media, which is really nice. Russell T Davies said that he thought the Absorbaloff was brilliant. It touches people, absorbs them, and their faces actually appears on the body. Absolutely terrifying. I love the bit where he said, "She tastes like chicken," as he absorbed Ursula. That is a fantastic line. I absolutely love it.
She tastes like chicken.
He's a cool piece of design villain. The green suit looks fleshy and he looks so alien in that defense. So yeah, after when the Absorbaloff has absorbed Ursula, Elton tries to make a run for it, but he gave up. And yeah, when the TARDIS materialised and the Doctor and Rose came out, she wasn't happy when Elton upset Jackie when she's like, "You upset my mum!" After when the Doctor was like, "Someone wants a word with you." Absorbaloff's plan was to absorb the Doctor to get his knowledge to use his TARDIS to get back to his home planet, Clom. And yeah, that's the twin planet of Raxacoricophalapatorius, the home planet of the Slitheen and the other Raxacoricophalapatorians. Because Elton broke the cane, the Absorbaloff is melted into the ground. Elton has lost his love interest, Ursula, and he couldn't live without her, which is why the Doctor sonicked a pavement out, and there's Ursula's face attached to it. And oh my god, when he mentions the love life, and Ursula was like, "Let's not go into that." Just before when Elton zooms in the camera into his face, that is so dirty. I hope no child had any idea what that was going on.
It's a relationship of sorts. We manage. We've even got a bit of a love life.
Oh, let's not go into that.
Well, actually, I didn't get it when I was a kid, but then becoming an adult, I was starting to realise. So anyway, it ends with Elton tells us the good and the bad about life. It reveals why the Doctor went to see Elton as a kid, because there was a shadow escaped from the Howling, and the Doctor stopped it, but he wasn't in time to save Elton's mother, because that was the day when Elton's mother died, which is a sad scene. So yeah, that's Love and Monsters, and I kind of realised a lot of people dislike this episode, sadly. I liked that episode. It's got interesting stories. I like Elton and the Linda team with the idea of studying the Doctor. Plus it's another episode I grew up with, so yeah. So what's your positive thoughts of this episode? Let me know in the comments below. Doctor Who, Fear Her, the 11th episode of Series 2, is written by Matthew Graham and starring David Tennant and Billy Piper. So Russell T Davies has told Matthew Graham that it wasn't going to be an expensive episode and have it set in Housing Estate. Matthew Graham has originally wanted a story about a man who has the power to drain Earth of its beauty, but Russell T Davies preferred his own idea about the eerie nature of paintings or illustration. The Isolus is inspired by the villains in The Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the 1978 movie. And yeah, Matthew Graham is known to write Life on Mars series. So this episode is set in London 2012 during the Olympics. Well, those times have passed. It was really funny when the Doctor landed the TARDIS facing the wrong way, and so he had to dematerialise and materialise in the right way.
Oh.
So the Doctor and Rose investigates, the 3 missing children, and apparently cars keep breaking down because of the heat absorbed by the Isolus pod. I think Tim Faraday is a great actor, the one who plays Tom's dad. He's also known to play the cleaner in Primeval.
You follow me, I'll shoot you. Well, we're dead anyway. I'm warning you.
And Steve in The Inbetweeners.
Cherry, I'll have 3 ciders, 3 carveries, and 4 double rum and cokes, please, mate.
As many as 4.
Edna Dorr plays Maeve Griffith, an intelligent old lady who suspects children gone missing, and it's to do with anything supernatural. I really like her, and also when she said to the doctor she doesn't care who he is, as long as he helps her, that's all that matters. So this episode is about a 12-year-old girl, Chloe Webber, who can make people disappear by drawing them. And even her mother, Trish, is scared by her own daughter. The way she looked out the window is kind of scary. I think Abisola Akabaji is really good as Chloe Webber. Nina Sonsea plays Trish Webber, Chloe's mum. She did a great job. When Rose sees a cat went inside a box and he disappears, which is because of Chloe drew him and sent him in there. I also said a gag when the doctor was like, not really a cat person, because he's met cat people in New Earth. When Rose gets attacked by a flying pencil scribble effect, that made me jump as soon as it appears. When the doctor examines it and rubs half of it by a razor, he noticed it's the same material as a pencil. So the doctor and Rose decides to visit Chloe Webber. We find out that she's been lonely and bullied just like Isolus, which is why I possessed Chloe. All I wanted was love, which I can understand. When Rose opens a wardrobe and, oh my god, the drawing of Chloe's abusive dad, like he's a devil, he's really scary. So what happened was Chloe's dad is abusive to Trish and Chloe, and well, he died in a car crash. I laughed at the bit when the doctor opens a jar of Marmite and puts his finger into it and sucking the jam off, and Rose cleared her throat and shaking her head at the doctor as he realised what he was doing. Doctor, he is so naughty. When the doctor sees Chloe again, and when all of a sudden she's whispering, that was the Isolus speaking, which is really effectively.
But now I am alone. I hate it. It's not bad, I hate it.
Name yourself.
So while the Doctor and Rose goes to the TARDIS, Chloe decides to, well, sneak out to get the images of the Doctor and the TARDIS in her head, just so she can draw them. The Doctor mentions that he was a dad once, which is a great backstory, especially for those who's never seen the classic series. So yeah, Chloe has the Doctor and the TARDIS into the drawing, and Rose was upset and mad. So she sees Kel, the council worker, examines a well-flattened road.
Not a bump or a lump.
Abdul Salis plays Cal, a council worker. He gives off great performance.
You just took a council axe from a council van, and now you're digging up a council road. I'm reporting you to the council.
I love the bit when Rose uses an axe from the council van to dig the road, and the way Cal went on at Rose is so entertaining. You just took a council axe from a council van, and now you're digging up a council road. I'm reporting you to the council. And turns out Rose has found a pod, a spaceship for Isolus. It's a spaceship, not a council spaceship, I'm afraid. Great line. So before Chloe can send the entire world into the drawing, Rose decides to throw a pod into an Olympic torch in order to feel the love. I know the Olympic torches do seem different, but any history future can change a detail. So the Isolus flew away and, well, set Chloe free, and everyone that's been in the drawings is back. And, well, including Chloe's dad. That scene where Chloe's bedroom was red and he's like, Chloe, I'm coming to get you. And you can see the shadow moving. That is really scary. Thankfully, the song of Kookaburra, the nursery rhyme, can send him away and make everything alright again, like a code. So in the end, the Doctor is in the Olympic Games, sending the Isolus back with the family.
Go on. Join your brothers and sisters. They'll be waiting.
And Rose gives him the cake. I always loved seeing the 10th Doctor and Rose together, like I said. The ending is so heartwarming when it leads to the series finale, where the Doctor and Rose looks at the fireworks and the Doctor was like, the storm's approaching.
A storm's approaching.
Shame it's another episode that's been disliked by many people. I enjoyed it. Fear Her touches on a subject which was dark, but told in the way which can be educational for young audience at the same time. And I was only 7 when that came out, and yeah, I watched it on the day it was broadcasted. So yeah, if anyone has positive thoughts of the episode, do let me know in the comments below. And yeah, I'm on to the last 2 episodes of Series 2. Doctor Who, Army of Ghosts, the 12th episode of Series 2 is written by Russell T Davies and starring David Tennant and Billie Piper. So Russell T Davies decides the idea of Torchwood Tower in the Canary Wharf, when originally it was going to take place in Cardiff on the Time Rift, but Davies decided to save that for the Torchwood spin-off series. I love the opening scene where Rose is sitting in the bus eating her chips, telling us the story when there's nothing much happened in her life until she meets the Doctor. It's really sad when she tells us this is the story how she dies, with her standing in the beach in her leather coat. So the Doctor and Rose arrives back home after when she was giving Jackie a bazoolium. We get a humanoid transparent silhouette and they appear all over the place. According to Jackie, everyone was starting to scream but then settled down, seeing them as their family and friends who passed away, as Jackie sees this ghost as her dad, Prentice, who died of heart attack as he smokes.
Here we are then. Dad, say hello to Rose. Hasn't she grown?
So Jackie thinks it was her dad because of the smell of cigarettes, but the Doctor tells her it was just a memory. I loved how he flicks the channel, including a reference of Trisha Goddard's TV show and Barbara Windsor in EastEnders. It reminds me of those kinds of things that my mum watched when I was 6 or 7. I loved the line in EastEnders scene where she's like, "Get out of my pub."
Listen to me, Den Watts. I don't care if you have come back from the grave. Get out of my pub!
Yeah, and she says the only spirit she serves is gin, whiskey and vodka. In the tower we have Yvonne Hartman, who's head in Torchwood 1, played by Tracy Ann Oberman. She's really good. Oh yeah, we have Freema Agyeman, but not as Mother Jones. She plays Adiola, when Martha reveals that's her cousin. If Russell T Davies knew that Freema Agyeman was going to be the Doctor's next companion, they wouldn't have killed her off. We discover the ghost shift, which means on a certain time, the Torchwood staff pulls the lever and a lot of ghost appears. I love the Ghostbusters reference before the Doctor analyses a ghost.
Who are you gonna call?
When they arrived at the building, he accidentally brought Jackie in the TARDIS, and she's like, "If we end up on Mars, I'm gonna kill you." Oh, it's so funny. And definitely funny at the scene where the Doctor says to Yvonne about Jackie when he tells her that's Rose, and Jackie's like, "I'll show you where my ankle's going." And it's the first episode where the 10th Doctor uses his catchphrase, Allons-y, that's French for let's go.
Those ghosts have been forced into existence from one specific point, and I can track down the source. Allons-y!
Brilliant. Torchwood are known to collect alien artifacts and sometimes use it, and they destroy any alien threat. We have some kind of levitated sphere, which is a void ship, a space between dimensions, different dimensions. Billions of parallel universes all stacked up against each other. The void is the space in between, containing absolutely nothing. Time Lords call it the void, Eternals call it the howling, but some people call it hell. When the Doctor finds out about the ghost shift, he warns Yvonne that they should stop with the ghost shift because it could lead up to destruction of the Earth.
Walking from their world, across the void and into yours. With the human race hoping and wishing and helping them along. Too many ghosts.
This is interesting stuff. The scary scene was when Adiola was searching for Gareth in a white curtains area, and she opens one and there was a Cyberman there. So Rose gets her psychic paper and goes undercover to go into a room where Raj was working in while there is a void ship there. And sadly, the psychic paper didn't work as Staff has a basic level of psychic training. It's so good to see Mickey again. He's pretending to be a Staff and goes by the name Samuel. So after when the Doctor is talking to Rose through the laptop like a Skype and telling Yvonne not to tell anyone that he travels with her mother, the ghost shift activates because of the Staff wearing earpods. When the Doctor sonics them to death, well, overloading a signal.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
What happened?
Then Yvonne decides to take a device out of Adiola's ear, and there is a string of squelching wet brain tissue, which is really gross. Oh, I think I'm going to be sick. When the Doctor searches something in the white curtains area, he finds out Cybermen were there. They came from parallel Earth to real Earth.
Cybermen.
As they took the Doctor and Yvonne back into the office area, there is more ghosts all over the world, and well, they turn out to be Cybermen, which is great revealing, and Murray Gold's music is well done. When the void ship is opening, at first we thought it could be a Cyberman, but then we find out it was the Daleks. Man, that's a great revealing. I lost my words when I first watched it, and I was only 7. I really loved that episode. What are your thoughts of Army of Ghosts? Do let me know in the comments below. Doctor Who Doomsday, the 13th episode of Series 2, is written by Russell T Davies and starring David Tennant and Billy Piper. The conception of this episode is having Cybermen and Daleks in the screen together, which is what I love to see. BBC approached Terry Nation, who created the Daleks and Davros, to have both races in an episode, but Terry didn't allow it, so Russell T Davies did instead. This episode is the departure of Billy Piper as Rose Tyler, who made a decision to leave after 2 series. So Rose managed to shut the Daleks up by shouting and told them that she knew about the Daleks and the Time War, and so did Mickey and Raj. What's so special about those 4 Daleks as that they have names. Dalek Sek is the black one, and the others, well, there's Dalek Jas, Dalek Thai and Dalek Khan. And they have a machine device called the Genesis Ark, which is a prison ship, and you can tell it was made by the Time Lords as it's bigger on the inside. So the Daleks has got the information about the Cybermen because, well, they killed Raj with their plungers. Cybermen were on the broadcasting news to order the world to surrender.
Cybermen now occupy every landmass on this planet, but you need not fear.
I love the scene where the soldiers were shooting at the Cybermen at the bridge. It was well done. I also enjoyed the scene where the 2 Cybermen has a conversation with a Dalek, where the Cybermen were wanting to team up with the Daleks and upgrade the entire universe.
Identify yourselves! You will identify first.
But the Daleks decline that offer, so the Cybermen can't kill the Daleks, their laser doesn't work on them. But the Daleks can kill Cybermen easily, just like that. I love the Daleks' line when they're like, "This is not war, this is pest control." So the Cybermen decide to bring the staff, including Yvonne and Jackie, to the area where they get upgraded. Yvonne did after when she's like, "I did my duty for Queen and Country." And yeah, she appears near the end where she was a Cyberman, and when she blasted all the Cybermen, and we'd never seen her since.
You will not pass. I did my duty for Queen and Country.
And Jackie decides to make a run for it, and killing a cyber leader, they just download into another. And it's nice to see Andrew Hayden Smith as Jake again. They should bring him back, I like this character. So yeah, Jake in Parallel Worlds and, well, his crew have got their own Torchwood. When they took the Doctor there, we see Pete Tyler again, and we also find out that Harriet Jones is a president of UK. It's amusing when the Doctor shows a white flag in front of 3 Cybermen and telling them that he surrenders, and next time we see him, which is what the Cybermen tells him to do, is walk into a room with 4 Daleks and Mickey and Rose. We also found out that the group of 4 Daleks are called the Cult of Skaro. The battle scene is fantastic between Cybermen and Daleks. I love the scene where there's so many Daleks flying in the Canary Wharf, and the Cybermen came and attacked them, and Murray Gold's music is brilliant. I like the 3D glasses the Doctor is wearing, it suits him. When he decided to get Rose, Mickey, Jackie and everyone into Parallel World, Rose decided to stay because, well, she wanted to be with the Doctor. Jackie is upset because it looks like she won't be seeing her daughter again, as every time you use that teleport, you rip a hole in the universe. Both worlds will fall into the void. So when the Doctor and Rose puts the metal handle thing on the wall to hold on to, they pulled the lever to get all the Daleks and Cybermen into the void. It's such a blast to watch, but when Rose's hand slipped from the lever as it was beginning to turn off, so Rose has to get to the lever to keep it on. But anyway, when she was falling into the void with the Doctor shouting, "No!" That was so sad. Thankfully Pete caught her. I also enjoyed the scene Pete and Jackie sees each other. It's like, well, they're back together. The moments where the Doctor and Rose are separated, you can tell they're both devastated. So when Rose and her family and Mickey went down to the beach, the Doctor's interface appears in that scene where Rose has to say goodbye to the Doctor, and she was crying. That hit me really hard, and it still does.
Am I ever gonna see you again?
You can't.
What are you gonna do?
I've got a TARDIS. Same old life, last of the Time Lords.
I miss those two together. Oh man, it's so upsetting.
Rose Tyler.
But then at the end, Catherine Tate as Donna Noble appears in a TARDIS in her wedding dress, when the Doctor was like, "What?"
Where am I?
What?
What the hell is this place?
What?
It's such a great ending, but it's really sad. So yeah, I love that episode. Cybermen vs Daleks, with 10th Doctor and Rose Tyler, Russell T Davies writing, and Murray Gold's music combined, and Graham Harper the director, as he's the only crew so far who directed a classic and New Who episodes. And of course Series 2 is my favourite series, because what I just said, and it's like those movies where it's just run away from monsters and then defeat them, and I love stuff like that. So what's your thoughts of Doomsday? Drop it down on the comments below. Tardisodes are mini episodes. They're all about a minute each long, and they're typically prequels to each episodes of Series 2. In Tardisode 1, New Earth, Novice Haim advertised the hospital in New York, explaining how she makes her patients better, but then the screen goes static and the patient screams,
We can cure anything. Portrait syndrome.
Tardisode 2, Tooth and Claw, a meteor hits Earth, then 300 years later, a crofter played by Alan Dorrington walks around in the fields and heard the sound of growling, then attacked by a werewolf, which is pretty scary. Tardisode 3, School Reunion. Mickey does a research about UFO sightings, so he calls the Doctor and Rose to come down, while Acrylitane is invading school.
I need you. There's something out there.
Tardisode 4, The Girl in the Fireplace. Inside a spaceship, the crew are attacked by clockwork robots. Tardisodes 5, Rise of the Cybermen. After the Preachers gets a phone call from Gemini, Ricky Smith drives away in a van just as an advertisement for Cybers Industries is played on the radio, while thousands of people have gone missing in the hands of Lumic.
Coming soon, the ultimate upgrade.
Tardisodes 6, The Age of Steel. The video from John Lumic orders human upgrades to Cybermen to release around the world, and anyone who's not compatible will get deleted.
Incompatible versions. Delete.
Tardisodes 7, The Idiot's Lantern. After the Connollys have got a new TV, there was lightning on the telly, so Grandma attacks it, and then she gets strikes, which resulted her faceless.
Tomorrow, join millions of others around the world to celebrate the coronation of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
Tardisode 8, The Impossible Planet. Captain Walker is told about the black hole and was given a book with ancient writings, and then Ood said that the beast shall rise from the pit.
And the beast shall rise from the pit.
Tardisode 9, The Satan Pit. After Captain Walker is killed, and Ood delivers his belongings to a man who is marked by the beast after Walker's book suddenly burst into flames.
Kurt, is this me or can you smell burning? Kurt?
Tardisode 10, Love and Monsters. A mysterious monster investigates the Doctor and Linda on website, and then attacks a poor woman who's offering a cup of tea.
Hot of tea, sir.
That woman is actually shown on the Absorbelov's right shoulder, unlike his more recent victims, whose faces and sentiments are still intact. The secretary is beyond that stage of absorption. Her identity and consciousness have vanished, and all that remains of her are the shrinking features of a mouth, nose, right eye and right brow. The Tardisode 11, Fear Her. There was reports of missing children, while cabinet is opened containing a being with red eyes.
Cracking down on crime.
Tardisode 12, Army of Ghosts. The editor reports the journalist to Torchwood after finding out the truth about the ghosts.
Torchwood exists! I know the truth about the ghosts!
Tardisode 13, Doomsday. While Cybermen was attacking, the news reporter tells people to run away and then killed by the Daleks.
We are the masters of Earth!
Yeah, I thought the Tardisodes were pretty fun. If I watched the show as a kid, I would have been freaked out. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.